Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while since you've seen me pop up on here, but I'm back to design and share some cool art with you. This video's theme is going to be animal mashups, as you can see here. So how we're going to run this is by first going to this little animal randomizer I found on Google. Let's go! This round I'll be randomizing twice and going with whatever pops up. So here we go. That's number one. And our choices. The purple emperor butterfly and a centipede. This is going to be very interesting, both bugs. Alrighty, let's get to sketching. So here I've just pulled up some references because I wanted to start up the designs by first drawing them as they are naturally. Luckily, these two animals aren't too difficult to draw since there's a lot of easy shapes to follow. So enjoy this little process. Once I finished those up, it was time to start mashing these insects. I knew from the start that the body of this creature was going to be long to make the centipede part make sense. I'm unsure if it's the way this creature's back bent or those beady eyes, but this sketch did come out a little bit too creepy for my taste, so yeah, let's just ignore that one. I rubbed everything out and tried again, this time arching the back the opposite direction to make it not look like a werewolf. And I feel both aesthetically and anatomically this works so much better. I then added the wings, lots of little centipede legs, and the fluffy joints that are found on the purple emperor butterfly. I then moved on to the next design, this time opting for a full centipede body and then later adding butterfly wings onto it. The first version, I tried giving the creature some tiny little wings that are spread across the body and thought this was a really interesting concept for this hybrid. As a digital artist, I like cutting corners, so let's just copy that over. For this one, I decided to go for the single pair of much larger wings, which I soon decided against as the final design. It just seemed like a longer bodied version of my first design and I wanted to do something more interesting. That's why in the end, I went for the multi-winged centifly? Butterpede? I'll let you decide what this hybrid would be called in the comments down below. For now, enjoy the sketching. I struggled with these wings more than I'd like to admit, just constantly redrawing them again and again. I wanted to make this little thing as cute as possible, but let's be honest, if I saw this thing in real life flying towards me, yeah, new fear unlocked. Once I was happy with the sketch, it was on to lines. There's not too much to say here at all, so enjoy the time lapse for a bit. The lines are done and now on to colours. I started throwing down a variety of hues that were colour picked from the images that I chose. I knew from the beginning I wanted to add those beautiful blue wings from the butterfly, so it was a matter of what I was going to do around those. I ended up going for this really simple three-toned colour palette and then building off of it with more texture and pattern in this next stage. If I tell you guys how much fun I had drawing in this wing design, wow. The butterfly also has these little orange rings that I didn't notice until I started drawing in. Personally, I love them. Then comes my second favourite stage on any drawing, the shading and the highlights. This little creature was looking a little flat, so I knew this stage would be the most important on making all those features pop and giving it a little bit more TLC. And as is ritual for all my drawings at the end, a white outline all around the design. And here is the final creature mashup for the purple emperor butterfly and the centipede. Now on to the next mashup. I must have forgotten my entire rule of randomizing twice because I ended up going with the first mix that came up. So what do we have in store with this one? It's a poison dart frog and an eastern gorilla. Okay, what was I supposed to do with this? I don't think I could imagine two more polar opposite animals to mix, but I guess here we go. Just like the last design, I started off by drawing both the animals as they are in the wild.
I'm not very good with people. If you don't start a conversation, we won't have one. We won't have one. If you don't start a conversation, we won't have one.
After how quickly I drew that frog, I was praying the gorilla would be a breeze. But my prayers weren't answered that day because I drew the back leg again and again and many more times after that. Can someone put a counter on this?
If you don't start a conversation, we won't have one.
Yeah, look, it wasn't coming out the way I was hoping it to. Look, we got there eventually, but it took so much longer than expected. Now, after all that suffering, it was time to start creating. My first instinct was to put a frog's head on a fluffy gorilla/frog body. I really don't know why, but it almost looked human to me and it kind of threw me off, but I wanted to keep this idea going. So I started another sketch, going with the same idea as before, but with a more frog-like body shape. When I tell you how much I loved this one, like, holy wow, I loved this little guy and I would do absolutely anything to pull him out of this digital world and have him with me. I was ready to stop there and just go straight to the final artwork, but I knew I couldn't because these two designs were just so similar to each other. So I attempted the reverse, gorilla head on a frog's body, and yeah, I really quickly stopped there after sensing how much worse this could possibly get. Though if you guys are interested, I could do this mashup concept again, but purposely design cursed species. In the end, you know I went with my sweet little boy here, who I would give everything up for. I ended up liking that first frog sketch so much that I used it as a base for my final design. But from here, I took the initial idea and started gorillifying it. The body fluff was the most fun to add for sure. But I did also want to make a separation from where the frog skin is to the gorilla fluff. It should be more obvious when we get to shading. But for now, we are back onto lines, so enjoy the time lapse. I then started adding in the flat colours and a few of the defining features from both species. Like here, you can see the gorilla has a silver back, so I went with that. And of course, you can't miss these beautiful bright patterns all over the frog's body. My phone ended up dying in the middle of recording, so I did end up drawing more than what you guys saw. But pretty much here I was going in and adding all those blue circles that you can find on the frog's design to pretty much his entire body. Honestly, I'm surprised that I'm not a circle expert with how many I had to draw throughout this entire process. In the end, I adjusted a few more colours and now comes the crucial part, the shading. Since I mentioned before that I wanted to have that separation between the frog's skin and the gorilla's fur, the texturing and the shading was going to be super important here. All the frog sections had to be really shiny, and all of the gorilla sections had to be really fluffy. And finally, the last step was to add all of the highlights. Oh, and also some ambient lighting. I coloured in the line work now that all the shading was done, just so we didn't have that really harsh black line around everything. And our little froggy was done. Oh, wait, no, we still have the highlights to do. And with that, our frog-gorilla hybrid is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content like this. I'd love to be more active here as I am on my other social media links. So if you'd like to take a look, they're both here and linked in my description.